the fire, warming my night. With you I'll stay till the morning light. This is where I call home. This is where I call home. Your love is like...
Hello everyone, I am Ben with the BTC Sessions. I'm here in Kensington, Calgary, and today I'd like to talk to you about a website called MyEtherWallet.com. This is a portal that allows you to interact with your Ethereum wallet as well as any ERC20 token, which is a token and or currency issued on the Ethereum blockchain. We're going to go through how to send, receive, and how this site can interact with your Ledger, Trezor, and something called MetaMask. Let's take a look.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by the BTC Session shirt. Have fun walking around town with my stupid face plastered all over your chest as people ask you, who's that? Okay, so here we are on MyEtherWallet.com. Now, as I said before, this allows you to access your Ethereum tokens as well as any token built on top of the Ethereum network. We're going to be taking a look at a few different methods to access your Ethereum wallet using the website MyEtherWallet. Now, it's important to note that MyEtherWallet does not actually hold the private keys to your account. You are providing that and just using it as a portal to view and manipulate your balances. Okay, so first we're going to look at a basic setup of a new wallet through the website. Now, it's important to keep in mind that you have to be on the actual website. There is a lot of phishing sites out there where they'll change a single digit, and if you aren't careful, you can lose your coins by accidentally having them stolen through one of these phishing sites. They do have a warning here at the top, but the phishing sites also have those warnings as well. So please double check and make sure you are at myetherwallet.com and pay particular attention to every little digit. Make sure they're not using an alternative like a 1 instead of an L. Okay, so now what we're going to do first, this is likely the least secure method of using myetherwallet.com, but at least you'll be able to see the layout and how it works, and then we'll take a look at some other methods of using it that are much more secure. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a new wallet. So this is where you land when you first go to the website. All right, and all it requires is that you're going to enter a password, and this is going to create a new wallet for you that is only accessible if you have the password. So in this instance, I'm going to use the password. This is a test because this is going to be a throwaway account that I will not be using again. So I type in, this is a test. I hit create new wallet. And this is where I'm going to download a file that will be my account. This is the private key to my account. So I'm going to hit download and it saves in my downloads folder. Okay, so now that file that I've downloaded is my account. If I delete it, after having sent funds to it, those funds are gone. So ideally you want to, if you're using this method, and again, as one of the lesser secure methods of doing it, you want to save it on a thumb drive or something secure where you can keep it and not lose it. Maybe even have a secondary copy elsewhere. Also not advisable to leave just sitting around your computer or especially not in any sort of a cloud storage, because if that gets hacked, somebody can access your file and brute force your password and eventually access your funds. So please, if you're using this method, be careful. All right. Anyways, I've downloaded the file. They basically tell you what I've just said. Don't lose it. Don't share it. Make it backup. Okay. I understand. Continue. Okay, you also have the option to save your private key. Now, again, I'm showing you this because it's a throwaway account and all the funds will be gone by the time I put this video up. But this private key is important. You can save it. This allows you to access your funds without the need for the file that you've just saved. You can also optionally hit print a paper wallet, and you could print this as a backup of your account as well. Now, I'm not going to do that, but this is an option. You can save this, and again, you can see you have a private key down here, and you have a public address that you could send to. This is also represented as QR codes, public and private right there. Anyways, let's get back to it. We'll close out that and save my address. Okay, so now this is where I can unlock my wallet to see my address. All I would do is say I have this is called a key store file, okay? This is where I choose the method in which I want to access my account. Now, this is a file that I downloaded, the key store file. It's going to ask me to select that file. So if I select it, I'll navigate to it in my downloads. It's right there. And I'm going to hit open. Now, and notice how they again warn you, this is not a recommended way to access your wallet because you're taking all of the credentials and essentially uploading it to the website. And it's not that the website itself is insecure, but if you're on a phishing site and you do this, well, they've got everything they need to take your money. Anyways, I have selected the file, and now I'm going to put in the password associated with it. This is a test, and I hit unlock, and it's going to take me, okay, well, it's successfully decrypted, and down below I can see everything associated with my wallet, my address, the file, the private key as digits. If I want to actually display that, I can. But again, this is information that you would not want to share with anyone. And this is how you see all of the information for your wallet. Now, this is just looking at your wallet information. This isn't how you would actually manipulate, send, and receive tokens. So let's go back out. Let's hit refresh and take a look at the site coming from a fresh perspective, as if I were just visiting it and I needed to send or receive tokens. All you're going to do is go up here where it says send ether and tokens, and you're going to click on it. Then you're going to pick how you'd like to access your wallet. Again, right now we're using the key store file that we've just created. So I'm going to hit key store. I'm going to select the file and find where it was downloaded to, or wherever I put it. Select the file, open it, and then it asks for my password. This is a test. Unlock. Okay, now this is my send and receive screen. You'll notice that right now there's no ability currently to use QR codes. It's all copy and paste. So let's look at what's on the screen here. First, to send, this is our sending screen. You can paste in an address you'd like to send to. You can pick your amount or send the entire balance. This is a drop down where you're going to be able to access any Ethereum tokens that you have. So if you wanted to send something other than Ether, it would be available here. And then this is associated with the fees that you will be sending to execute a transaction on the Ethereum network. Now, for right now, I'm going to say that for the most part, you're not going to be playing with this. I'm not going to get into gas and how that functions on the Ethereum network. We're just going to leave this alone for now. There are other videos out there covering this topic. This will not be one of them. Okay. If we go over to the right here, our account address is right here. If we wish somebody to send us funds to this address, we have to select it, we have to copy it, and then we would have to paste it into an email or wherever so that somebody could have our address and send funds to it. And we're going to do that actually right now. Now, I've got open my Exodus wallet, which has some Ethereum in it. So we're going to practice sending to this address. So once again, all I'm going to do is I'm going to select the entire thing. I'm going to hit copy. All right. And then I'm going to navigate over to my Exodus wallet. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Exodus wallet, I did do a video on it. I will put links to that down below. I'm going to click on it. I already have it open to my Ethereum wallet. And I'm going to hit send. And this is where I'm going to paste that address that I've just copied. And I'm going to send over about 30 Canadian dollars, okay? Down below, it will detail what you're doing, okay? You're sending this much, 30 Canadian dollars, and you can see that my transaction fee is going to be about $1.86 to do this, okay? With Exodus, you're not able in the transaction window to manipulate your fees that you're sending with, so that's just going to be a static amount at the time of sending. You can't manipulate it in any way. Anyways, I'm going to hit send. Are you sure? Send, yes, and that is sent off, okay? Now, all we need to do is wait for a confirmation on the network before I can see that in MyEtherWallet. Now, I'll just go back to MyEtherWallet right here. The other issue with MyEtherWallet is this balance will not update on its own. You need to access this again from scratch in order to see your Ether balance updated. Now, what I'm going to do before we do that, I'm actually going to send an Ethereum-based token to MyEtherWallet as well. So let's take a look at what that will look like. Now, guess what? When you're doing this, any Ethereum-based token or ERC20 token will be sent to the exact same address as your Ethereum address, okay? And any token sent to that address will be available in this wallet. Now, there's one other thing that I would like to do here, and that's to send over an ERC20 token to MyEtherWallet as well, so that we can see where it will reside in the wallet. So I'm going to go ahead and I have some GNO that I like to send over. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hit send. I'm going to paste in that address once again, and I'm actually going to send it all over. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that when you are sending any ERC20 token, the transaction fees are not removed from the token itself, but rather from your Ether balance. So if you can see down below here, it looks like to send GNO right now by default in the Exodus wallet, it's going to be about just shy of $5.50 that it's going to cost me to send it over. So a little bit higher of a fee, and it has to do with the computation required to make this happen, because I'm not using just basic Ethereum. I'm using a token built on top of Ethereum, which costs a little bit more to do. Either way, I'm going to send that out right now. So I'm going to hit send, and I would like to confirm, absolutely, and it is sent off. So once that confirms on the Ethereum network, along with my Ethereum transaction that I just sent to the exact same address, we should be able to see and manipulate both tokens within that address on MyEtherWallet. So we'll come back to the main screen in a moment and check out how to do that. All right, so here we are back at myetherwallet.com as if we were coming in without having already been logged in. Now we'll be able to see our updated balances. So I'm actually going to go to send Ether and tokens right here to access my wallet. And then I'm going to choose once again how I would like to access it. For this instance, once again, we're going to use the key store file that we had downloaded. I'm going to select the file from my computer. I know where it is. And then I'm going to enter my password. Once again, this is a test. And when I hit unlock, I can see it's loading my balances. Okay, so I can see the Ether has arrived. It is over here on the right-hand side, just below my account address. But if I scroll down, I can see token balances, how to see your tokens. So what I need to do right now, I'm going to hit show all tokens. And you can see that it says click to load on all of these. All of these are tokens built on top of the Ethereum network. Most of them should be listed here, but if you do not see the token you're looking for here, you may need to hit add custom token, at which point you need to enter information which would be provided by the person or entity that has created the token. So I'm not going to get into this right now. Let's just go back and find out how to check our balance for GNO. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to look for GNO in this list. And here we are. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit click to load. And there I can see my 0.2 GNO are in my wallet. After I've done that, I can also just hit only show balances, and I'll just see my GNO right there. Okay, so now I can see I have Ether, I have GNO, and I can do as I please with them. So if I hit this drop down, I have my choice of which I would like to send. So let's just practice sending out to an external wallet. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to send out my GNO back to my original Exodus wallet. Now, why am I doing it in this order? Well, it's because when I send out this GNO, as I said before, the transaction fee will be taken from my Ethereum balance. If I send out all this Ether first and then try to transfer GNO, I'm not going to be able to do it because I don't have any money for transaction fees. So let's go back to Exodus. I'm going to hit receive. Now remember, this address here should be the same as my Ethereum address. So let's check that. It starts with 0xDB, okay? If I go over to Ethereum and I hit receive, 0xDB, exact same address because my Ethereum address is residing over all of my ERC20 tokens, not only within this wallet, but within MyEtherWallet and any other wallet where I hold the private keys myself. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to copy this address, and I'm going to go back to MyEtherWallet. I'm going to paste it in right here in the to address field. What am I sending? I'm sending my GNO first, and I'm going to click send entire balance. All right. And all I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to hit generate transaction. Now this is a little advanced. Don't worry about all of this stuff right here. We're just going to hit send transaction, send it out. Once again, this can look a little daunting to anybody who's not familiar with cryptocurrency in general. So hopefully this will help you not be as wary of MyEtherWallet after this. So I'm just going to hit yes, I am sure, make the transaction. I'm sending 0.2 GNO to the address I've specified. And that has been sent out. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to reload our wallet so that we can see an updated balance, not only with no GNO, but with a reduced balance for the transaction fees I've just paid in order to send that token back to my wallet. Okay, so new wallet, send Ether. Okay, so I just by switching tabs here, it logs me out of my wallet. So mostly for security's sake. So we'll go ahead and we will enter our wallet once again. So I pick the file, select it, and quickly enter my password. This is a test. Unlock. Okay, so I can already see I do have a reduced balance for that transaction fee. And if I go, I'm already not seeing a balance there, but if I scroll down to GNO and I hit load, you can see it is now zeroed out. Okay, so all that's left to do is let's send out our remaining Ethereum balance to that same address I had before. I'm going to hit send entire balance, and I am indeed sending Ether, and I'm going to hit generate transaction, send transaction, and I will say yes, I am sure. And that gets sent out back to my Exodus wallet. Now, the next thing I want to look at is a more secure way of accessing your Ethereum and ERC20 tokens via your browser only. And this is called MetaMask. So this is the website that you can go to, metamask.io. And what this is it's a browser extension for Chrome that allows you to access your tokens in a more secure manner because the keys for your account are held here in the MetaMask extension as opposed to shared via the browser here, okay? That way, if you do navigate to a phishing site, MetaMask will let you know. It won't let you send on that site, okay? Now, the MetaMask extension can be accessed. There's a link to it right here. You can get the Chrome extension. Or Firefox or Opera, or through the Brave browser. Okay, so you have some options as far as how you're going to access this. I do recommend checking out the site before playing around with it. It'll give you a better understanding of how it works. But once you've downloaded it and installed it, you have this little drop down here in your browser, and it allows you to send and receive. Now, it does also allow you to buy via Coinbase or shapeshift between various assets, but I'm not going to get into that, nor am I going to get too much into the actual app itself. Upon setup, it will give you a backup phrase of 12 words after asking you to put in a password that you can use for this extension. So much like the MyEtherWallet password we set up, we just set up one with this, and it gives you a default account. I've already funded this with some Ether and some Augur as well, known as REP, R-E-P. So you can see that here. Now, I'm going to just show you how to access this using MyEtherWallet. It's very, very simple, and it's more secure than the previous method. So if we navigate to myetherwallet.com, and we're going to hit Send ETHEREUM Tokens, how would you like to access your wallet? Well, I'd like to do it through MetaMask, and simply hit Connect to MetaMask. Oh, so much easier. Look, there's my account balance. And actually, already here, I can see that I have one rep sitting there. So much easier to access and secure as in relation to the way that we've previously done it. So what I want to do actually is let's just send this out because the account that I use with MetaMask is a throwaway account. So we're just going to send this back to my wallet in Exodus. So I'm going to go ahead. Once again, I want to send out the rep first because the transaction fee is going to come from my Ether balance. So go to Exodus. I'm going to go to, remember, I can use my Augur receiving address or my Ethereum receiving address because they are one and the same. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to head back. I'm going to paste in the address I want to send to. I'm going to do a drop down and hit rep. How much do I want to send? All of it. I'm going to hit send entire balance. I'm going to hit generate transaction. And I'm going to hit send transaction. And I am sure. And that gets sent out. Now MetaMask gives me a notification at this point. What are you doing? Do you want this to happen? Okay. I take a look. Yes, I agree with that. I'm happy. This is a rundown of my fee that I'm using to send this and what will be deducted from my Ether balance. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to hit submit because I'm happy with that. And off it goes. Now, if I want to double check on that transaction and see if it has been successfully processed through the blockchain, I can go down here and hit verify transaction. This is going to open up a new window for a website called etherscan.io. And I can see here that the transaction is currently pending and is on its way to my wallet. So it gives me a lot of information. Again, most of this for any new person using this service, this is not going to be super pertinent information for you. You're mostly going to be looking at whether this is pending or successful. Okay, that's kind of what you're looking for there. Or you can just wait it out and wait for it to pop up in whatever wallet is expecting it. If I hit refresh here, yeah, already it has been successful, and actually it's been confirmed in 2 blocks already. So if I go back to my Exodus wallet, yeah, so it's already arrived. I have one rep sitting there, and yeah, it's confirmed. So let's just send out, I'm going to X out of this, let's just send out that remaining Ether back to my wallet as well. Now I'm going to go out and back in, send ETHEREUM tokens, and I'd like to access via MetaMask, connect, simple. I can see I have a reduced balance because of the fees that I just spent, but that's fine. I'm going to paste in my address. I'm going to send my entire balance of Ether selected here. I'm going to hit generate transaction, send transaction, and I am sure. And that's going to open up my MetaMask notification. Are you sure you want this going to this other wallet? Are you positive? Yes, I am happy with that, and I'm going to...
A few moments later.
Okay, so I did encounter a little bit of a problem with MetaMask, and it has to do with sending Ether out of your wallet to another one and the inclusion of the fees to do that. So my issue came when I went to send. I hit send entire balance. Well, when I went to generate that transaction and I get my MetaMask notification before it goes out, it informed me that there was an insufficient balance to send my Ether, which is funny because the transaction fee should come from the Ether. So what I've had to do, and I believe this will be successful, is I'll have to send less than my total amount and leave a tiny amount for the transaction fee. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to go back out and re-access my MetaMask here. And I have my address ready to paste. But this time, instead of hitting send entire balance, I'm going to put 0.015, and that should leave me enough room to send out everything here. So I'm going to hit generate transaction. It's going to send transaction 0.15 ETH. Yes, I'm sure. And at this point, it opens up, and this is where I got the issue before, where it's saying it was saying that I didn't have enough funds to make this happen. But now I'm no longer getting that, so I'm going to hit submit. And that is it. My transaction is now sent out and should show up in my Exodus wallet momentarily. So finally, what I want to do is I want to quickly show you guys the difference between using a browser-based solution versus actually using a physical device to access your funds, which is the most secure way to utilize MyEtherWallet. Now, all we need to do here is hit send ETHEREUM tokens, and what I'm going to look at first is the Trezor. Okay, now I'm not going to be showing what I'm doing, but I will describe the device as I'm using it. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Trezor and the Ledger, I do have videos on those. Those will be in the links below, as well as in the cards right here. So all I'm doing right now is I've plugged in my Trezor device to my computer, and from this list, I'm going to go down, I'm going to click Trezor. I'm going to hit connect to Trezor, and it's going to bring up this window. Now, again, this could be daunting to some people or confusing, but all you need to know is, yes, you are exporting your public key so that you can see your funds. Now, here I'm going to input my PIN number that I already have allocated to my Trezor. This is scrambled. There's a scrambled PIN pad on my device right now, so I just have to plunk in exactly wherever my PIN number happens to be and hit enter. And once again, it's going to bring up now a new screen. Now I've sent a little bit of Ether to this address already, just to kind of give you an idea of what this looks like. Now this can look scary to some people, but don't worry. I'll explain what's sitting in front of you, where it says select HD derivation path. This you do not need to worry about. It auto selects what you're trying to do. As you can see here, you can see Trezor dealing with Ethereum. The only difference would be if you actually want to access Ethereum Classic, you can do that. You just have to go over here and hit Trezor ETC. But I'm not doing that right now. I can also see down below, these are a list of addresses that are allocated to my Trezor. And if I hit more addresses, I can see another list. I can continue back and forth and use any address that I want. Okay, but if I go back to the main screen here, this is the address that I've used. Most people, they'll probably use their first few addresses and not go too far beyond that. Also, if there's a token balance, I can click here to see that token balance. It takes me to a website called ETHEREUM.io. Now, right now, I don't have any tokens in that particular address. Otherwise, they would likely show here. Okay. Anyways, all you need to do is leave this be and then select an address to use. If you're new to this, just use your first address and that's plenty. And I can already see that there's a balance. So I just hit unlock my wallet and it takes me back to the exact same screen that I would have used before to send Ethereum tokens. And I can see balances. This is an address that I could copy and paste and anybody could send to again. So I'm just gonna send this back out to my Exodus wallet. Again, I've already got my address here. I can send my entire balance, generate transaction. Now, this is where the Trezor comes in. On my device right now, it brings up a screen that says I can either cancel or confirm this transaction. If I hit the button for confirm, it asks me one more time and it sends off and it gives me this send transaction number here. I'm going to go ahead and do that and confirm. And that sends out my balance from my Trezor. So the only additional step is in logging in, picking which address you'd like to use, and then during the send function, you need to confirm on the device itself by clicking the yes button. All right. Beyond that, it is very much the same, and that is it. So I'm going to go back out. And now I'm going to be using a different device. I'm going to be using the Ledger Nano S. Now, really quick, I'm going to skip out so that you can see how to set up your Ledger Nano S to be compatible with MyEtherWallet.com because there's something you need to do to it. All right, so this is a quick setting that you're going to do on your Ledger Nano S to enable it to be used with the browser. Okay, so you're just going to navigate to the Ethereum application on your Ledger. You're going to select it, and then you're going to use one of the buttons to go to Settings. Select that. You're going to go down to Browser Support, and you're going to make sure that Yes is selected. And that's it. You can navigate back to your main screen, quit the app, and then just make sure when you're using the actual browser that you do have Ethereum selected on your device. Okay, and finally, to use the Ledger Nano S, now that we've set up the device itself for browser support, we're just going to go again to send Ethereum tokens. This time we're going to hit Ledger Wallet and we're going to select it. We're going to hit Connect to Ledger Wallet. Now, I have already put in the PIN number on my device before this, so I don't need to do that again. Once again, select HD derivation path. It pre-selects Ethereum via the ledger. Now, of course, if you wanted to use Ethereum Classic, you could, but pretty much leave it where it is unless you need to do something specific. And beyond that, once again, you see a list of addresses. You can use more addresses, and it will populate with any one that is available on your device. But you can also check out your token balances here through ETHEREUM. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit unlock my wallet. Once I've selected my address, I'm going to hit unlock my wallet. And it takes me once again to my screen where I can see my address. I can see my account balance, and I would be able to see any tokens right here through my token balances little box here. I'm going to send out, and once again, I'm going to paste in my address for Exodus. I'm going to send the entire balance. I'm going to hit generate transaction. Now, when I hit generate transaction, this is when on my device it gives me an option of approving or denying. So an X or a check mark is what I'm going to be picking on my device. So I'm going to tap that check mark to approve it, and right away I can see send transaction. It now gives me the option to send it. I'm going to hit yes, I am sure, and that gets sent off, and that is it. Done securely through my Ledger Nano S. Now, of all these methods to send and receive Ether and tokens, I will say that the Ledger and the Trezor are not only the most convenient, but the most secure. So if possible, I would highly recommend using a hardware wallet to store your Ether and ERC20 tokens. But if that is not an option, even though there is the issue with sending out Ether from MetaMask, it is still a much more secure method as opposed to saving a file on your computer. So much more advisable to use MetaMask for the time being and deal with the sending issue there, and hopefully that is fixed in the near future until you get your hands on a Ledger or Trezor. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, drop a tip if you're able to, and share this video. Furthermore, if you'd like to support the channel in another way, check out my links below to grab yourself a hardware wallet or pick up a fun t-shirt. I will see you guys next time on the BTC Sessions.